Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
We bought a property 3 years ago, and the property owners committed fraud. They withheld the fact that the well runs dry about half of the year.
Oh, gosh.
Feels like a problem.
It will cost $24,000 to drill a new well or $30,000 to bring in city water. My husband wants to spend our emergency fund on the well, but I don't think it's an emergency because we've lived with it for 3 years. We spend about $80 a month on laundry, and we're debt-free besides the mortgage. My husband works full-time and makes $60,000 a year. The other option is we could buy an old well drilling rig for $4,800, but we don't know if there's any major issues with it. And then we could buy a brand new well drilling rig for $22,000. We have $11,000 in our emergency fund, but once it's fully funded, it will be $18,000.
So you don't have the money to cover this anyways, even with the emergency fund, if you did the $24K or $30K option.
That's right.
And nothing in was there a lawsuit because of the fraud? Anything legally that they had to pay you guys because they didn't disclose it?
We are still in the process, but we do not believe that we will probably win the case. We don't believe we will get the money to cover it.
Why?
Because we believe that she doesn't have the money to pay us back for it.
Okay. Okay, so how long, Elise, would it take you guys to save up the extra $13,000 to make this a possibility for a $24,000 fix?
We have saved about $11,000 in the last 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
So it'll take us another 6 months probably.
Okay, to do that. And you don't want to do that. That's not because you're good with how you guys are functioning now. Because I mean, I guess if the well runs dry, do you guys have water? I mean, like what does life look like on the?
Is this a little house on the prairie? How does this work?
Well, I do laundry at the laundromat. I can only do 1 load of dishes a day. And then
Elise, it kind of sounds miserable. Is it?
It is. It's very miserable.
Okay, yeah. I would probably save up and get
categorize this as an emergency.
Yeah, this is kind of a necessity. You know, your 4 walls, food,
it's
shelter,
not life
utilities,
or death, but
transformation.
it's pretty close.
Well, I'm worried that if we spend our emergency fund on this, another emergency will pop up, and then we have no money.
Well, that's always a risk. Most emergencies, for the most part, you're able to get by with a couple of $1,000s. So maybe you guys save $28,000, have $4,000 left over just for a little bit of cushion, and that'll be a few extra months, right? So maybe you give yourself a deadline and say, okay, but in 8 months we're gonna fix this well issue, do it, and still have some cash left over, and then keep saving. Because sometimes when stuff comes up, I mean, just like this is a great example. You know, yes, we would consider this emergency, or people have a tire goes flat, or you can fix that for less than $4,000.
I hope
but
so.
Yeah, but like a roof or heating and air, things that are like really, really, really expensive, usually you can buy some time and be able to save month to month.
That's what I'm wondering. Is there a temporary fix? Let's say you bought the used rig. Do you guys know how to do this yourselves, or will you still pay someone to actually do the work?
We could do it ourselves.
Wow. If you feel capable.
Are you guys, like, do you know how to, like, is that something that's like, oh yeah, that's a totally possibility, and your husband's like, yep, for sure? That just seems complicated.
Yes, we could for sure do it, and we have a friend that has actually built a well drilling system in the past.
Okay.
Then I feel like you go this route for now.
Yeah, why wouldn't you do that route?
It just makes me nervous to buy something that we're not positive would work.
And why wouldn't it work?
Just because it's a used old, it's a 1980 truck that has an old well drilling rig that hasn't worked.
Can you test it somehow?
Yes.
Or have someone inspect it?
Are there other ones out there that you guys can rent for a month?
We cannot. I've looked everywhere. There's no well drilling rigs for rent. you'd have to buy either a new or you'd have to find a used one somewhere. And most of them aren't big enough because we are drilling through rock. And most of the ones that you would buy for $20,000 would drill through sand or gravel, not solid rock.
Okay.
Not big.
I feel like George and I are probably not the
Beyond our pay grade to talk
I don't know.
about drilling wells.
I know.
But if I was in your shoes and I felt comfortable and capable, I would inspect it, make sure it's mechanically sound, and buy the used one because that's what you can afford right now. And later on, if that buys you time even to save up $24,000 to do it officially or get the city water, I would do that down the line. But for now, I'm willing to drop $5,000 to see if we can fix this problem and remedy it, even for a year.
And it's only $2,400, right?
You said $4,800 for the used one?
There's a used one for $4,800.
Oh, for $4,800. Okay.
Talk them down to $4,000. Negotiate them down and see if you can get this thing going.
Because there's not a lot of buyers because apparently there's not a lot of woods out there.
And maybe you can sell it once you're done with it and make some money back out of it, right?
Yeah, we've also thought about using it around here locally because there's only one well drilling company.
Hey,
so.
you got a new business on your hands.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, I hope that helps, Elise. So yeah, maybe do that if you feel capable. I don't know why I didn't have that as an option. It's impressive.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.